Hi everybody, and welcome to another Super Mario Maker showcase video. It's been quite a while since the last one, but today I am going to show off another of my own courses, simply because I originally said I was going to do like an Expert 100 Mario challenge for this next, but I've lost all enthusiasm to do that really. Now Super Experts come out, I might do another one of them, but who knows at this point. Anyway, today's level that I'm going to be exhibiting is Peg-Stomp Swamp. Now the ID is on screen now, if you want to play it yourself. So let's get started. It's using the new Super Mario Bros. U ground theme. Is probably very overused online at this point. The main mechanic of this level is pretty much using your ground pound. Not the main mechanic, because he's got these chain chomp pegs hanging around here, which of course you can ground pound in. In fact, you have to get past this first section, which is on a moving platform. You need to pound some of the pegs and duck underneath. So you might be wondering how I got the chain chomps off their pegs. Well, I will tell you that in due time, once I am done with this little run of the level, just initial run. Got a different setup here, because you can't ground pound these pegs, but they do block your way. So you need to get them out of your way. And there is a moving platform up here, so I wonder what you need to do. A puzzle setting. I'll give you a moment to figure it out. But yeah, you just ground pound any one of the pegs and it will start moving the platform. Let me just do a cheap coming up behind. Got a little nice green themed section here, which I suppose I wanted to make look a bit like a swamp. But if you don't have a mushroom at this point, if you've lost it along the way by one of the, I guess the cheeps are the only thing that can really hurt you, there are mushrooms that come out of that pipe up there. And head down this pipe after ground pounding, and here's your first checkpoint. Now there's a comment there that I left, but I didn't realise that I set comments to gamepad only. But what it's saying is if you find all 3 pink coins in the level, you'll be able to get 3 1-ups at the end of the level. And also skip the boss at the end. Yes, there is a boss. Spoilers, but you'll see that in a minute. So, we can't ground pound underwater, so how do we deal with these pegs? We get something else to deal with them for us. In this case, thwomps. Thwomps are going to be appearing in this level. Thwomps and chomps, that's the only enemies I've really used here. And cheeps, I guess. Shame they're not cheap chomps. And so now we have a thwomp with wings, who moves slowly left and right. Honestly, maybe a little bit too slowly. I think maybe I should have shortened the distance that you can fly between. But yeah, that's a little minor issue I have. But that's underwater sections for you, I suppose. They're always quite slow. Which is why I've actually put some conveyor belts in. Well, that's not the only reason for the conveyor belts, so I'll explain a bit more in a minute about the conveyor belts. Yeah, with the fast conveyor belts, it allows you to move, travel a lot more quickly underwater, which can help alleviate a little bit of the boredom, I'd say, of underwater sections. Because they can be quite slow, but in this case I found it quite necessary to use underwater. And you'll see why. So here we have a little puzzle where there's a thwomp that's being blocked off by a moving platform and you need to go around and free it. And once you do that, it'll stomp the pegs for you. There's a little bonus section off to the right here. I'm going to show it off because it's not actually very well hidden, and it's actually, I guess call it a secret within a secret. If you head into the pipe, we've got this nice bonus room music. I like using that. To get the music to play consistently, just have an enemy on the screen, like a muncher, that doesn't interfere with the level itself, but it will constantly play the music as long as it remains on screen. Now, the secret within a secret is there's actually another pink coin in this room. But you can't get up there with a wall jump. It's a little bit too high for you to reach, no matter which direction you come from. But I'm not going to tell you quite how to get that pink coin just yet. I will be doing like a secrets section to this video, and the solution will be in there. So let's head back along to the left and free the thwomp from before. You cannot go back up because there's like these one-way walls that stop you from taking a shortcut, I guess. So I'm going to have to time my swim through there because there's a cheap moving along and a thwomp and yeah, just a bunch of stuff coming at you, so take your time. No need to rush this bit. And that's the big cheap who reappears if you go over to the left too far. Okay, we're back outside again. up top, and now we have a chain jump on a peg, which I think is the first time I've used it in the level, at least where you can ground pound them. So I got like the winged ones underwater. And this also introduces note blocks for this level. We're about halfway through, I'd say now. So yep, you can bounce off the note blocks, and some of them have POWs inside. And of course we'll be using POWs. That's another mechanic I'm trying to introduce in this section, is you use POWs to destroy stuff like munchers, and as we'll see in a minute, also thwomps. And also ground pound POW blocks, so yep. So you can't get up on that well, you can get up on that platform, but you'll take damage if you jump up there with the munchers on. So you need to get the POW block to come out of there, and force the thwomp to fall on top of it, which will kill the thwomp in the process. So it's basically teaching you about POW blocks. Now this is a bit strange. There's meant to be 2 pegs here, but one of them just randomly disappears. But I've seen on previous runs that the left one is the one that disappears. So for some reason, while there's meant to be 2 pegs there, sometimes there just isn't, and I can't explain it. Anyway, heading down here, out of bounce off a musical note up into the ledge, we're approaching the boss area, as you can tell by the heartbeat effect used here. Now the heartbeat sound effect is tied to those cheeps up top and bottom. Okay, here's the boss. It's a giant winged thwomp and a stack of chomps on tracks with a note block underneath. So it's sort of like a puzzle boss. You need to figure out what to do. Well, it's pretty obvious what you need to do. You need to get the thwomp to stomp on the pegs, obviously. And so you can access the note block underneath and bounce on it. And the note block will contain a POW block. So you need to take your time and time the thwomp's pound so that it removes some of the chomps from play. It actually misses there. I swear these big thwomps are meant to be like 4 blocks wide, but for some reason that's just not wide enough apparently. And once you kill the final peg, you can access the note block. Now, if the thwomp falls on the note block, it will knock the POW out as well, or the chomp as well. So there's plenty of ways that you can get the POW block out of there. You can jump on it yourself, you can get the chomp to do it for you can get the thwomp to do it for you. Now, there's a little secret at the end there. If you're fast enough to get under the gap, there is a 1-up in that block. However, it's not a particularly difficult thing to do, because the peg moves quite far back. And that's the end of the level. Nice little peg bouncing section, and a couple of pegs on either side of the entrance to the castle. So this next section here is going to be about the mechanics of the level, which I haven't done before, but I figured I'd show them off, like how to get the chomps off the pegs. So, pretty much the easiest way to get a chomp off its peg and just have the peg on its own is to have a muncher on a track above the chomp, just in the same line. So, well, if you know about this game, how it works is that everything spawns horizontally. So both these munchers, so both the muncher and the chomp will spawn at the same time, and the muncher will like instantly crush the chomp underneath it. But there needs to be ground underneath, and that's not always optimal. For example, if I go back to the first bit of the level with the moving platform, there is 4 chomps in a row with a big bob-omb on top. And of course I can't really use a muncher on a track here, because that will make it land on the other track that has the platform on it. And you'll just have a muncher just going back and forth, and that's kind of dangerous because the player can land on that, and I don't really want munchers to be too much of an obstacle around in this level. So what I've done is I've placed a big bob-omb on top of these 4 chomps, and well, this is sort of an exception to most rules, because since this is at the start of the level, all of those chomps and the bob-omb and the muncher will all spawn at the same time and take out the chomps. So that only really works if you spawn near it. Now, with stacks of chomps, you need to find a way of... It's actually really complicated. So if you take out these bob-ombs, you will see that if you drop a muncher on, it won't kill the top 2 chomps. So you need to kind of use bob-ombs to destroy more of the chomps above. And no matter what you do, it won't kill any chomps aside from the bottom one. It's a bit strange, but I assume it's because the chomps don't stand on anything solid. Like, the pegs don't really count as a solid object. And also, for efficiency, it's best to have like a bob-omb on the bottom of the stack of enemies, because any chomps that are stacked on top of other enemies won't move around, whereas if you put a chomp on the bottom of a stack, it can bounce from left and right and can actually avoid the muncher or bob-omb explosion. I mean, it didn't there, but it can do, and you kind of need consistency so that the level doesn't change every time you play it. So yeah, keep chomps above the stack. So if you've got like a massive stack of chomps, then make sure that they're on top rather than at the bottom. Otherwise they can just move around and avoid whatever attacks that may crush them. So this section with the 3 pegs on the platform was kind of complicated to set up, because of course there's a track underneath, and those munchers probably land on the track. And the main reason this was complicated is because if you just walked across normally into this section, the big bob-omb would just walk away and not destroy any of the chomps. So I decided I had to use a bob-omb explosion, otherwise the munchers would fall onto the track. So I've got the munchers going at an angle, so they crush the bob-omb and destroying the other chomps. That's the entire reason why I've got this conveyor belt down here. There's no other reason for it other than to make sure that everything is set up correctly. That's sort of the reason for the one underwater as well, but to a lesser extent, because you can swim above that one. You can sort of still make the setup fail if you take too long on the conveyor belt, in which case all the chomps will remain intact and there'll just be a big bob-omb walking around. So it's still possible to break my level, but I'd appreciate it if you took the conveyor belt. But that's your choice. If you want to have some chomps just wildly jumping about, making your life difficult, then please, by all means, skip the conveyor belt. The other reason for the conveyor belts is as you enter the boss room with the thwomps. If you don't get into the boss room fast enough, then the music block and the chain chomp pegs will all be out of alignment, which is a little strange, considering they're all in the same place on the same track. But yeah, the only way I could think to fix that is to force the player to get into the area as quickly as possible on a fast conveyor belt, so that's the reason for that there. Okay, I've actually got a second version of this level that I made, because there are a few minor things that might need a fix, but at the same time they're so minor that I don't really want to re-upload. Okay, the first thing I've changed is that I've taken a block away here from the first area, starting section. And that's because there's like a little tiny glitch in the first version, where if you get pushed against this wall, you'll just fall straight through the platform and onto the spikes. Which of course isn't very nice, but yeah, by removing that one block so it functions normally again. I'm not sure why that happens, but at the same time I've got like a fixed version if anyone has too much of a problem with that section. I haven't noticed anyone dying particularly that many times in that section, but yeah, if it becomes a problem then I will re-upload with a fix. The second minor issue is the munchers on this platform. You can actually destroy the one on the far left edge with this power block. Turns out the platform is a little bit too close to the power block, and you can destroy one of the munchers from the platform, which I didn't really intend to happen, because it's built to show off that you can use the power blocks to clear the munchers away. So in this fixed version, I've only got 2 munchers on the platform, and they're much further away than that power block, so you can't destroy them with it. Oh, and would you look at that? The pegs are both there this time. I don't know what happens with those. They just randomly vanish. I don't know what happens there. I also relocated the mushroom pipe, so that you don't have to jump up to find it. If you need a mushroom to ground pound through the next block, there's one that's easier to access now. Okay, going to be showing off the secrets of my level now. So if you want to play through it yourself, find the secrets without my assistance, then please stop watching the video now, go and play my level, and well, I'll catch you later. Okay, the first secret is right in the starting area, like seriously right above where you begin the level. there is a hidden P-switch up here on this one ledge, and you can use that instead of ground pounding to get through the first set of blocks, and also it reveals the location of a hidden block which contains a 1-up mushroom. Okay, the next secret, you might have noticed it before when I was grabbing the mushroom from the pipe, but there are bricks in the ceiling that you can break, as long as you're a big Mario. And this way, you need to carefully pound as many pegs as you need to, without pounding too many, and that leads to the first pink coin of the level. By the way, if you mess up with the peg stomping up there, if you head back up the main pipe there, come to the main area and then exit back out again, the chomp pegs will come back, so you can retry and get the pink coin. Okay, a little minor secret in this area. Above this chomp peg against the right wall is just a standard hidden block with the 1-up in it. And if you swim around underneath, and you need to be Big Mario again, Super Mario or Fire Mario, you can break through those bricks and find a visible 1-up. So here's that secret room I showed off before, but this time I'm going to show you how to get that pink coin that was so elusive. No one knew how to get it, although I assume you probably figured it out. Because there's only one other thing in this room, and that is the chomp peg, so you guess you have to use it. For something, at least. And a little known fact about these pegs is that you can get underneath them and sort of push them along. This also works with bill blasters and cannons. But for some reason, it won't work with munchers, even though the 4 of them all have similar traits. It won't work with munchers. I don't know why. But yeah, that is the way to get the second pink coin. Okay, another little minor secret in this first opening area after coming out of the underwater section. If you get this chomp off its peg, he hits me here, but whatever, and then do a small crouch jump, there's another hidden block with a 1-up in it. Just a little minor thing there. And finally, if you get this power out of here, and instead of using it to destroy the thwomp or anything else, go over the thwomp, and there is a big muncher that you need to destroy with the power block, and this is the way to get the third pink coin of the level. If you hit that note block, it sends a vine downwards, which you can climb up. It's right in the middle, nice and symmetrical for this section, and random mushroom just falls down there. I guess I spawned it before. And now we have all 3 pink coins. We can go in this door and skip that giant thwomp boss battle from before. And it also gives us 3 1-ups. Well, technically 4 1-ups, because you land straight on top of the flagpole for the 4th 1-up. Although you can only hold 3 1-ups in 100 Mario Challenge anyway, so that's a little bit pointless. Okay, heading back briefly to this section here, with the moving blue platform puzzle. If you look up there, you will see that there is a pipe. That is the pipe that we couldn't get out of before, from underwater. This skips a whole bunch of the level, and you need to get up there with a triple jump. And those pegs on the platform need to still be up, so don't ground pound them if you want to get up here. And head down this pipe, and this takes you obviously underwater in this section. You can't go back up because the jump pegs block the way. And also that means that you can't pick up the first pink coin, so you can't go back for that. So you either take this big shortcut, or you go and find the 3 pink coins, but not both. However, if you want to clear this level really fast, this route with the big shortcut is a lot faster. And there's a certain exploit you can use on the boss to make it go much quicker. Okay, the final secret, or at least I think it is, I've forgotten my own level, is that you see there's a 1-up mushroom in there with a big muncher. You need to bring a power block up here or find a hidden one in the hidden block there. Destroy the muncher and then just go and grab your prize. It's a nice and simple 1-up mushroom, just in plain view. And I suppose I should also count this as a secret, although it's more of an exploit, is that you don't need to destroy the whole stack of pegs. You can skip the top layers and get the thwomp to fall down straight onto the bottom peg, or even the note block. It can land straight on the note block. Or, if it destroys the lower chain jump, you can actually swim onto the note block and force the power block out early. And then of course at the end of the level, if you swim faster than the peg, which isn't difficult, there is a pretty much free one-up. You'll always be faster than that peg. Now onto a speedrun of my own level. This is not particularly optimised. There are certainly improvements you can make to make things go a little bit faster. I made a few mistakes that slowed me down by a few seconds. Let's see if you can spot them. But anyway, I'm going to stop commentating now and allow you to watch the flow of the level. As you can see, I actually managed to get the one phase boss fight there. I don't want to call it a phase really, because it's a bit simpler than that. But yeah, you can get the thwomp to stomp right onto the music block and just skip pretty much the whole boss fight. But that's all of the level that I have to show. There is the ID once again on screen if you want to go play it for yourself. And I will see you in a different video. Maybe some more Mario Maker, I don't know. But yeah, bye for now.